Hey everybody, Jeff Reinhart here. How are you? LL League football. Another week. Week 2 of District 3 playoffs. 4 LL League teams still alive. Wilson in Quad A. Lampeter-Strasburg in Triple A. Lancaster Catholic in Double A. And Columbia in Single A. 2 semifinal games this week. Columbia in Single A. Only 4 teams there. They had the week off. And Lancaster Catholic gets a semi in Double A against Trinity, and won't that be fun? A lot of good games here. It's getting good. Cream of the crop here now in week 2 of district. So terrific matchups across the board. Before I go any further, live blog this week will be Lancaster Catholic Trinity. Do tune in for that Friday night. I'll launch about 6:30 or so from Rossmere. I keep missing that game for whatever reason. I'm not missing it this year. No way. Catholic Trinity Friday night, so check for that live blog. Get you a chat preview Wednesday night. Keep an eye out for that. Capsule previews as well are about ready to go. And all the stats are on the page. So football winding down. So as long as there's LL teams, we'll keep doing these videos. Okay, 4 games. Let's break them down. Start with Quad. Wilson at Daniel Boone, an all Berks County affair, and won't this be fun? Both teams 10-1. Both teams' lone loss this season was to Governor Mifflin. Thought that was interesting. Mifflin beat Boone in a Berks Section 1 game, and Mifflin beat Wilson way back in Week 1 in overtime. So Mifflin's also still alive here in Quad A. 2 great defenses here. Top 2 defenses in Berks County. Boone's number 1 D in the Berks League, and Wilson, of course, number 1 D in Lancaster-Lebanon. 166 yards a game against. That's it. And Wilson still has not given up 800 rushing yards. I think they've given up 790 somewhere in there through 11 weeks, which is pretty good. Good defensive effort in round 1 against Penn Manor. Held the Comets to 113 yards. Penn Manor still got 17 points, which was the most points that Wilson's given up since the Mifflin game. How's that? But Wilson's D has been great. They will have their hands full here. Tommy Bedolis, the quarterback for Daniel Boone. Dual threat personified. 1,000-yard rusher, 1,000-yard passer. Wow. Can beat you with his feet, can beat you with his arm. And Boone's coming off a terrific win in round 1. Beat Chambersburg 21-20. Chambersburg led the whole game. Boone comes flying back at the end. Bedolis gets a 1-yard dive and then throws a 2-point pass for the lead with under 2 minutes to go, and Boone holds on. And now they get Wilson. Bulldogs lead this series 3-0, but they haven't played in years. 1959, 60, and 61. So that was before I was born. That was an eternity ago. So throw that record out for sure. I guess people have been clamoring for this game in Berks, and they're going to get it. Trip to the semifinal on the line. Should be dynamite. Wilson at Daniel Boone. Enjoy that. Okay, let's go to triple. LS gets a home game. Pioneers coming off a 42-6 beat down over Northern York. They took care of the Polar Bears, rolled them. They will host Shippensburg, kind of a Cinderella team, although the Greyhounds are 9-2 and having a good season. But they're coming off their first ever District 3 playoff win. They beat Greencastle Antrim, the 7 seed last week, 10-7, nip and tuck kind of a game. So Shippensburg rides into LS for this one. Pioneers playing well, still have a really good defense. They're under 200 yards now a game. I think 199 they're giving up. Shippensburg as well has played great defensively. They're only giving up about 185 yards a game, less than LS. Good defenses on display here. Also a wing T kind of a game. Shippensburg is old school wing T. They're going to line up, with the fullback and the 2 wing guys, and they are going to pound it. Keep an eye on William Burt. He's up over 900 yards, but I think they have 3 kids with up over 500 rushing yards. So Shippensburg is old school wing T. I think they've thrown less than 50 passes all season. LS will also do a lot of wing T stuff, but they'll do it out of a shotgun. Nate Shanks back there in the pistol with weapons all over the place. Jordan Groff, big game against Northern York. 4 touchdowns, 2 runs, a catch, and a pick 6. Keep an eye on Dan Neff in this game. You'll read it in my notes. I think he can be a factor in the slot. if Shank can kind of get him the ball in space, and if he can make some plays, keep an eye on that area. Interesting game, very interesting. And like I said, Ship is in the second round of a district game, playoff game for the first time ever. Tricky trip. They get the Pioneers and their tough defense and their very, very balanced offense. Intriguing game. See if LS can stay on track here to get to the semifinals for the second year in a row. Keep an eye on that one. Shippensburg at LS. Okay, Double A, the Whopper. Trinity at Catholic. Crusaders are 11-0. Still number 1 in the state in Pennsylvania football news. Number 2 in the Patriot. Trinity 9-2, also state ranked. They've kind of gotten past all their off-season woes with the hazing stuff. They had some injuries. Patrick Dill, the quarterback, missed some time, but he's back and firing. They beat DeLone Catholic last week, 49-27. Dill was 11 for 19 for 307 yards and 3 touchdowns. Danny Jackson, one of his favorite targets, had 4 catches for 179 yards and a couple of scores. He also has Chris Lenz out there on the flank. And those two are burners, and they're good. And they both have 700-plus receiving yards. So keep an eye on Catholic secondary in this one. Tolton and Swigert and Garrity and Titus. Those guys are going to have their hands full with Trinity's passing attack. Trinity can run the ball too. Wow, Adam Geiger's up over 1,000 yards. Jack Miller, his backfield mate, both went over 1,000 yards last year. Miller's not quite to 600, I want to say, this year, but he does so many other things. He's caught a bunch of passes out of the backfield. He's a terrific linebacker. These teams kind of mirror each other. Both have speed on the flanks. They both have 2 backs in the backfield who are gnarly. Don't forget Hollister and Clay, both over 1,000 for Catholic. So, these guys met in week 1 at Trinity. 36-29, Lancaster Catholic survived. Got a field goal from Satchel Ziffer late to tie it. Brandon Hollister's touchdown run in OT won it. So, kind of a collision course here. Trinity's wanted a piece of them. Little payback here, and they're going to get him in districts in a semifinal. Trinity is the defending champ. They beat Wyomissing last year. And I told you last week, and I'll say it again, this is all Catholic has been thinking about now for 365 days. They want their title back. And to just get to the title game, they got to get past Trinity, the defending champ, which wants a major piece of Catholic after the week 1 game. Wow. Fabulous game. This is just great across the board. Championship worthy. Winner gets Bermudian Springs 11-0 or Wyomissing 10-0. So there'll be an undefeated team here at the end of the rainbow next Friday in the title game. Told you Double A was going to be great. And we got some great matchups here Friday. Wow. Catholic at Trinity, live Trinity at Catholic, live blog Friday night. Check me 6:30 or so from Rossmere. Single A, Columbia, still playing football. Had the week off. Single A had the bye because they only have 4 teams in. Columbia hosts Millersburg on Friday. Indians are good. Don't let the 5-5 record fool you. This is a very good program. Roy Wall, the Northern Lebanon coach, was there for 9 years. They won a district title just in 2009. So these guys have been around and been in it. They were in the title game last year. Lost to Reading Holy Name. Good team. Don't let the 5-5 record fool you. No way. Josh Howard, dual threat quarterback, option kid, 1,000-yard rusher last season. Want to say he's close to 1,000 this season. Might hit it in this game, actually. He has 900 yards. Millersburg's tough. Keep an eye on Travis Lamoureux and Dawson Schlegel, a couple of really good linebackers. These guys are battle-tested and good, and they kind of use the regular season to kind of, prep for these games. So Millersburg is a tough foe. That's the 3 seed going to Columbia. 5-5 for the Tide. They are the number 2 seed. They were won the whole season. Then they've lost 3 games in a row here down the stretch. Mike Burke is back. 61 catches. He'll be good to go. I know Columbia was dealing with some other things, a couple of injuries and some off-the-field stuff. We'll see how many kids they have. I think I read Columbia had 18 kids dressed for the Donegal game in week 10. So probably going to need more than 18 kids to tangle with Millersburg here. Tough game for Columbia, but they're back in districts again.